Hi, welcome to another Sunnyside Design video. I'm Steph and this is week 4 of the One Room Challenge. Today we're going to focus on how to grout tile stress-free. It's embarrassing to admit that I did have a moderate freak out before we did this job because I watched a video here on YouTube from Jeff at Home Renovision DIY, which we have watched before. He gives great information and he has helped us save tons of money. But he recommended that I not use this product as a beginner, and then I took my questions to more searching on YouTube and found this video from Kelly Concepts, which put my mind at ease a little bit and I was able to get this project done. So go check out those videos, tap on those information links to see what I'm talking about. But in my opinion, using this Mapei Ultra Plus grout is perfectly fine for a beginner. It worked great for us, so we're going to cover all of the how-tos and everything here in this video. Stay tuned. The short story behind this recommendation to not use Mapei Ultra Color Plus as a beginner was because of the dry time. It does dry quickly, but I recommend just grabbing another set of hands to help. I applied the grout after the given time had passed for it to dry. My mom began to wipe off the excess grout. So working together, it worked out pretty smoothly. And we also would suggest to not mix the entire bag of grout at one time. As a beginner, it does take a little bit of learning to play with the feel of how to apply the grout. And so instead of mixing the entire bag at once, we just mixed small batches to alleviate that stress of getting it all on the walls quick enough. So per the directions and reconfiguring the measurements, we mixed 1 1/3 cup of water with 3 pounds of grout. So you will need to use precise measurements here. We used our kitchen measuring cup and a food scale, and they worked like a charm. The number one thing I'll say over and over about how to grout tile is to read directions before you do anything else. Each brand and type of grout will likely have varying instructions, so read them, follow them to a T, and you should be fine. After mixing the first batch of grout, I used a small putty knife to transfer a small amount onto the tip of the grout float, which made it easier to push the grout into these grooves and corners. When applying grout, it's important to move the grout float at a 45-degree angle in a diagonal direction. So this is going to make sure that the grout is properly applied in the joint rather than pulling it the same direction as the tile. It can actually pull the grout out of the joint. So make sure you're going at a 45-degree angle. You'll likely have to work in small sections at a time. And although there is a dry time to be mindful of, it's okay to take your time. You'll likely need to move the grout float around the tiles from more than one direction to make sure grout is being applied evenly. And with this, you'll just want to make sure every so often to check for little gaps or bubbles that might occur in the grout and just go back over those areas and fill those in. Remember that by mixing a small batch of grout at a time, there's really no need to stress about getting it on the wall before it dries, so you'll have plenty of time to apply it. According to the directions for this specific grout, dry time is 15 to 30 minutes, and as mentioned in that video by Jeff, he said you needed to have it applied and taken off the excess within the 15 minutes, but that's not what the directions on the bag say. You do have 15 to 30 minutes as long as you're waiting 15 minutes after it's been applied and before the 30 to take off the excess, you're going to be fine. So to get this excess grout off, you're going to take a large sponge, get it wet, wring out the excess water, and then wipe off any excess grout. So be sure to keep the sponge flat against the wall when you're doing this to not remove any grout from the joints. And remember at this time also, you're not going for a sparkling clean wall. There will be excess grout residue remaining on the tiles, so don't panic. It can be easily cleaned later. At this point, the timer has likely gone off to wipe the next section anyway, so proceed applying the grout and wiping excess off until the entire shower surface area has been covered. After all the excess grout has been wiped away, we let our grout completely dry overnight. Then the next morning, I was able to easily remove the remaining haze. To do this, it was super easy to do. I just took a dry towel and simply wiped all the shower walls. That is it. Here's a better look at the haze and how easily it cleans off. All in all, I think this process went smoothly, even for us beginners. Even though I had my panic attack researching how to grout tile, we didn't run into any issues with it drying too quickly. Again, in my opinion, this grout is just fine for beginners to use. Just be mindful of the amount of grout you mix at a time and pay attention to the dry time. If you follow the steps, you'll also be able to achieve beautiful results. Lastly, you'll need to apply a silicone caulk to the corners. Grout has the tendency to expand as it's not flexible, while caulk, on the other hand, allows for movement and provides a better sealant. It's also important to apply a penetrating grout sealer since its cement base is porous and can absorb liquid. Sealing will also protect the grout from mildew and staining. Thanks for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not already so we can continue making videos for you. And as always, here at Sunnyside Design, we hope to bring your home to the sunny side of the street.